Fantasy Revenge Lab.
When a greedy CEO cut me to reduce overhead, he didn't check one thing. The entire plant's license was in my name. Without it, their million-dollar operation was illegal. They fired me at 9 a.m. By 5 p.m., I'd shut down the entire company legally. They called it streamlining. The HR rep's words were polite but hollow. Due to strategic restructuring, your position is being made redundant. I stared at her. She couldn't even make eye contact. 12 years. I'd spent 12 years building this plant's operations from the ground up. From compliance manuals to safety training, I was the backbone. But that didn't matter. What mattered was the new CFO's spreadsheet said I cost too much. And the CEO, Greg Holden, he barely remembered my name until the day he signed my termination letter. I stood, shook hands calmly, and said, "You'll regret this. Not today, but very soon." They probably thought I meant out of bitterness. What they didn't know was this: the entire plant operated under my name. Why? Because when we launched, Greg didn't want to take regulatory responsibility. He asked me to apply for the government's environmental and hazardous operations license. I was the only one qualified. So the license and every legal permit attached to it was in my name. Without me, they weren't just understaffed. They were operating illegally. I smiled as I packed my things. That same afternoon, I drove to the Department of Industrial Safety and Operations. I handed over my badge, my ID, and a formal request to revoke my personal license authorization for the Holden Tech plant. The clerk blinked. "You're the named license holder?" she asked. "Yep. Greg Holden didn't want the liability." She frowned. "Once we revoke, the plant can't legally operate hazardous equipment." I nodded. "They'll have to shut down today." By 4:30 p.m., Holden Tech's plant manager was calling my phone nonstop. I didn't answer. By 5:12 p.m., an official inspector walked into the plant, flanked by 2 officers. "You are operating without a valid license," he told them. "Shut everything down now." Greg's face went white, I heard. The assembly lines froze. Shipments were canceled. Clients were alerted. Their 1.2 millers per day operation went dark, indefinitely. They tried calling me again. This time I picked up. "Why would you do this?" Greg barked. "You called me redundant," I replied. "Turns out I was essential." "You can't. This is revenge." "No, this is compliance. Look it up." He begged, offered money. Even a contract. But it was too late. By week's end, Holden Tech faced fines, lost 2 major contracts, and their board launched an investigation. They tried hiring a new license holder, but the process takes months. Me? I already had 4 job offers from their competitors. I picked the one who asked me to lead their operations. With full respect. And a 40% raise. Moral of the story: never fire the person who holds the keys to your empire, especially if they hold the only license keeping it legal.